Hey y'all, well today on the channel we've got the usual Thru-Hiker check-ins, but there's nothing normal about them, right? Because they're at a different spot on the trail. Every one of them's different. Every one of them's got their own story to tell. So let's go ahead and dive right in. So first off, we got up there, we got Big Deal. He checks in from the Triple Crown.
Hey Ramdino, Big Deal checking in from atop McAfee Knob. Day 49. So far the weather's been perfect. Trail maintainers have done an excellent job keeping everything clear for us. People have been great. Still running into trail magic out here. Just ran into Sir Stop Slot the other day. Met Hawk on his 9th AT traverse. If you want to follow along my daily updates and 3D maps, go check out Big Deal Bad Ideas.
Zuko and Qatar, they check in after they have made it through the Smokies.
I'm Dino, made it to Max Patch. Been a great hike so far, made it through the Smokies, missed the rain, water sources aren't too bad, had a great stay at Standing Bear Hostel, and yeah, we're trekking on. Bye.
They also wanted to warn there's lots of mice at that Davenport Gap shelter. So Davenport Gap shelter is the last of the cage shelters in the Smokies. It used to be they put cages up or chain link fencing around all of them because of the bear activity to protect the hikers. But then they got to be a problem with hikers throwing, locking themselves in and then throwing food through the fence, feeding the bears. So, I mean, yeah, you just can't fix stupid, right? So anyway, Davenport is the last one that's like that, and the reason is because there's no good trees to hang bags on. There is no, they don't have any cables up there because there's no trees to put cables on. They've actually, on one shelter, I can't remember the name of it now, they've actually had to import, big like telephone poles to string cables through, and they just haven't done that at Davenport. So they've left that cage up around there. And hopefully hikers are not throwing food to feed the bears through it. But in any case, the hikers store their food inside with them, and of course that has led to a lot of mice that Zuko and Qatar noted there. So just remember that as you're going through the Smokies there and you do make that stop at Davenport Gap Shelter, you're going to have to deal with a lot of mice. And then Sis checks in almost from the halfway point.
Hey Ramdino, it's Sis with Hiking on the Prairie, just checking in here at Harper's Ferry, getting ready to head north again. Glad your Camino trip went so well and glad you're back home safely. We'll check in with you again next week. Take care and God bless.
So I say almost, Harper's Ferry is not the actual halfway point. A lot of people consider it that, and it's they call it the spiritual halfway point, although I don't really use that word. Spiritual has a whole different connotations than a geographic point on a map. So for me, that's not the halfway point at all. That's on further up the trail, and that moves, of course, every year because the trail length changes every year due to reroutes and all that neat stuff. But thanks for checking in with us, Sis. And then Flat Pick, he checks in. Couldn't make that happen with the video, but hopefully going to get that worked out. But he checks in and he has made it out of the Smokies. And then speaking of check-ins, we got Checklist. He sends in his update.
Hey Ramdino, it's Checklist coming to you from Waynesboro, Virginia. And I'm knocking on the door to Shenandoah. Passed the 800-mile mark this past week. And there's two things of caution I want to mention to folks. One is it's the cold rain. Yesterday was hiked all day long in the cold 50-degree rain, and I was this close to hypothermia. I was shivering whenever I stopped. So I strongly recommend layering up if you think you're going to have a full day of rain. That cold rain, when it hits your body and soaks your clothes, just sucks the heat out of you. So don't be foolish. Dress warm and keep hiking if you are stuck out in the rain, or make plans to stay an extra day in the shelter, at least a half a day in the shelter, to avoid being out in the rain. The second thing I want to talk about is a warning on norovirus. I'm hearing from someone who actually experienced it and several folks who got it in and around McAfee Knob probably a week to a week and a half ago. It's probably still not there, but it's worth reminding folks. Remember to wash your hands, don't touch surfaces that you don't need to touch in the shelter. keep in mind, sanitizer kills 99% of germs, but that 1%, well, that's norovirus, and you need to wash your hands. What I do is I use my Sawyer Squeeze on my dirty water bag, and I let it drip on my hands with a couple drops of Dr. Bronner soap, and I wash my hands for a good 20 seconds. That's all I got for you this week, Ramdino. Thanks for all you do, and welcome back to the States.
Checklist, as always, that is great trail information. And that is something that I emphasize for other hikers checking in. Give us the trail information, you know, water conditions, shelter crowding conditions, what's going on behind you there. But thanks a lot for that great information that you provided there, Checklist. And yes, it's great to be back in America. Great to be back from the Camino. Already miss it. Would love to get back out there, but that's not a trail that you can just go and come as you please, right? And we'll talk about the Camino, my Camino trip here, and just a more lately. But we got Ash and Tie-Dye Goat. They check in and are making great progress.
Hey Ramdino, it's Ash.
Tie-Dye Goat.
We have finally
Made it.
made another state. New York. It's Wednesday, May the 13th. Can't remember.
Never know what day it is.
Nope. We went into New Jersey in the rain, and we're fixing to leave New Jersey in the rain in just a few minutes.
Yep. And but not before we had pies and quiche and
Cheese.
at the, where were we? Heavenly Hills Farms Bakery.
Yeah.
So go there, people. It was awesome.
Trail's been in good shape.
It's
maybe.
rocks.
It's rocky,
It's puds.
but
It's
trail.
tiring. Feet are good today. And into New York we go.
Signing out. See you
Bye.
next week.
U-turn, he returns to the channel. He sends in his update.
Hey Ramdino, it's U-turn. Smoky Mountain Angel. I'm up on Big Bald. I know it's been a while since my check-in. I've had 2 different knee injuries, had to get off for my aunt's heart surgery, pacemaker placed. But I'm back. I'll be in Irwin tomorrow. I'm so excited to check in. So happy to hear about your Camino through hike. Congratulations. And we'll see you soon. Bye.
So that's all we've got this week for thru hikers out there. If you're out there on the trail, whether you've been doing it on a regular basis or not, we'd love to hear back from you. Send me a 30-second video about how things are going for you, what the trail conditions are. So, and we got flip-flopper season is now in full tilt. So flip-floppers out there on the trail, they need to know the trail conditions as well as folks coming up behind you. So love to see that. If you can't do the video, no problem. Just give us your information and maybe send us a quick selfie or something like that so we can put the face with the name and who's out there on the trail. Now I got some information from Dr. Shaman, who is actually not a thru hiker. He's doing a lash, but he's got some great trail information for us about what's going on out there. So I'm going to include him. And if you're somebody who's just out on trail and you've got some great information for the thru hikers or anybody else, because while we're a lot about the thru hikers and supporting them right now, we're really all about the hiking community, section hikers, day hikers, all of that. So Dr. Shaman, talk to us.
Ramdino, this is Dr. Shaman coming to you from Bear Mountain with a trail conditions report. I just finished hiking from the Delaware Water Gap to Bear Mountain, and overall trail conditions are awesome. Not many downed trees, water's generally available except closer to Bear Mountain. There's some dry stretches. The main obstacle are ticks. A lot of people are pulling ticks off themselves, so treat your clothes with permethrin, bring insect spray, and use it. It's also really quiet on the trail. I'm usually the only person at the shelter or my campsite. So if you like some alone time, this is the time to be out here in New England.
And so his information, because he's up further north, also gives us a good idea that we know the bubble, since he said he was alone in the shelters, we know the bubble is somewhere south of Delaware Water Gap, and of course the hiker heat map, which is a little bit of outdated information, a little bit outdated data. I wish they would do it again, but it's the best we have right now. But that also confirms that the bubble is pretty far below that. As a matter of fact, the bubble right now is pretty much at trail days. There is a lot of folks at trail days. Looks like they were having a great time. Going to talk about another trail fest coming up here real soon. Hate I missed trail days this year, but I'm just getting back from the Camino, and Trail Boss missed me and didn't want me to go off for another weekend so close to the Camino. And then I had a good buddy who celebrated his 40th year anniversary of being in business and asked that I be there and help him out. So, but I'll be at trail days next year, I guarantee you. But the hiker bubble, like I said, is down around the trail days, around the Damascus area. Usually before it gets up to the Delaware Water Gap area is sometime around July 4th, according to the hiker heat map. Of course, that can vary each year, you know, depending on when people start and all that. But it's fairly accurate, fairly good for us to use kind of as a basis. And of course, the Lookout Hostels in northern Pennsylvania, that's not too far from Delaware Water Gap, and they're reporting that they're having 6 to 10 hikers per day now, and that some of those are flip-floppers, but some of those are Nobo as well. So we do know Nobos are starting to get into that area there, particularly the ones that are fastest or started earliest. And so we'll continue to reach out to Lookout, and they feed us reports from time to time anyway. So greatly appreciate Yard Sale and Crazy Hair sending us that information. And any other hostels that are on wherever you are on the trail, you could give us your information as well, whether you're starting to see Nobo or starting to see less and less of Nobo hikers out there, through hikers. Or if you're starting to see flip-floppers, that would be awesome to hear from you as well. So the next Hiker Fest we got coming up is June 5th through the 6th, and that is at Waynesboro. So they have a Hiker Fest. Hadn't been going on too many years to my knowledge, but they really do a great job there. So Waynesboro is it's not one of those trail towns where the trail runs right through it, but Rockfish Gap, which is the doorway into the Shenandoah National Park, that is the closest point to Waynesboro, and they will pick you up. They're running shuttles from Waynesboro to get you down to Waynesboro. They got free camping. They've got free breakfast with a hiker tag. So if you got a bag tag, you got no problem getting that. I've reached out to them to find out what about people that don't have bag tags. One, you could have lost it. Two, are you going to bring your whole pack? Some people have fixed those bag tags permanently so they don't lose them to their packs rather than just clipping them in, maybe with a tie or something like that. So do you have to bring your whole pack to breakfast? I don't know. What about for the shuttles? Do you have to have your bag tag for that? So it's kind of an odd thing that they, I won't say, well, odd's kind of a harsh word. They do have to vet people out. They don't just want everybody getting free rides and free camping down in Waynesboro and free breakfast. So I understand that part of it, but still the bag tag part, that's kind of complicated for people to do. You know, and not everybody registers. In order to get a bag tag, you have to register and take their classes down at Amicalola Falls State Park, or you can get one at Damascus or even Harper's Ferry. Of course, Waynesboro is before Harper's Ferry. But you still have to take their classes. So if you didn't want to do that, you didn't want to stop into those trail places, can you still, without a bag tag, can you still get that? I've reached out to Waynesboro. Hopefully they'll be corresponding with me and let me know. So if you're a hiker and you're going to be in the area and you plan to go to that Hiker Fest and you want to take advantage of that free camping, you can go to Y, the library, or the tourism office there, and they will hook you up with free camping. Also, just on a regular basis, without Hiker Fest, they have a whole list, and I'll leave it here. I'll leave it up so y'all can take a screenshot of it. But they have a whole list of people, that trail angels, that will come and pick you up from Rockfish Gap to get you into Waynesboro. If you want to do a Zero or a Nero there. And so that's a great service that folks around there. And they also, as well as, for-hire shuttle services that will get you into Waynesboro. So really nice of that community to do that and embrace the Appalachian Trail and the thru-hikers through there. So there at Hiker Fest, they're going to have free yoga classes, mention the food. They're going to have food vendors there. They'll have equipment vendors, things like that. So even for the hiker community, it'd be pretty neat for folks to go to there. And then May is Mental Health Awareness Month. Was not aware of that, so we're still May, so we're still good. But that is one of the things that every year we typically lose at least 1 or 2 thru-hikers, either from that year or is typically from a previous year, to suicide. and that's because they come off the trail. They're used to having a tramily. They're used to being around these people, and for a long time on the trail, and it really is just like a family. And then all of a sudden you finish your hike and everybody disperses, and it's never the same again. And so people have what's called post-trail depression, and some people just can't integrate back into society, particularly when they started the trail solo and they're kind of solo in life. They don't have a life partner of any type, or they're not married, or a good home life to go back to. And so that can be tough for people, and some people succumb to that and take their own life, unfortunately. So we want to emphasize Mental Health Awareness Month. I'll leave down below is a hotline you can text. It's open 24/7, 365. If you feel like you have some issues you need to talk about, whether it be you're thinking about suicide, or just, it doesn't have to be you're that bad off. It could just be you need help. You have post-trail depression. They've got counselors there, trained counselors that'll talk to you. And so if for any reason, if you need to give them a chat, please give them a chat and that text, and they'll be glad to interact with you and help you get through that tough situation. We got Woods Hole Weekend coming up. I mentioned that a couple times ago. I'm going to keep mentioning it now. So Woods Hole Weekend is a time when prospective thru-hikers, people that want to get some interactive training and want to go somewhere and be around other thru-hikers and being around people on the trail, be around people like them that are thinking about doing a thru-hike and are looking at doing that and get some great training, then that is the time to do that. It's coming up here. The date will be down below. The link will be down below for that as well. I highly recommend that. Here's a testimonial for some folks that went last year.
Hi, I'm Brad. I'm from Columbus, Ohio area. I plan on doing the thru hike starting February 15th of 26. And this event has been very helpful. There's a lot of great information. The presenters did a heck of a job. I highly recommend coming here to Woods Hole Hollow and attending this event. It's helped me a lot to plan and prepare this big quest, because that's what it is. So it's a great time.
Hi, I'm Denise. Brad is my brother-in-law. I'm from the Cincinnati, Ohio area. I currently call myself support staff as I continue to try and condition and potentially either join Brad on the hike, or, maybe commit at some point to the AT.
Very good.
But I echo what he said about this event. Even if you aren't here to become a thru-hiker, spending time here at Woods Hollow is amazing. And this program really not just motivates you to get your body in shape, but your mind in shape. And that's what it takes to be successful in the AT.
So I'll be there. There'll be other folks there, triple crowners, thru-hikers on the Appalachian Trail, just folks out there that will do classes. The food is great. Most of the food, if not all of it, is pretty much vegan. And so it's really a great time with not only the hiker community, but a good time for you to go and be able to bounce questions, be around other people in the community, be around other thru-hikers, ask those questions, get some great training out there. We'll have a practical at the very beginning, so we'll actually go out and camp out at a shelter, and we'll do all the things that you need to work, that you're going to be doing when you go to shelter, and then we'll come back to Woods Hole for the remainder of the weekend. So good time. Highly recommend that. Looking forward to being there and helping people out and just being a mentor to the folks that are going to be there. Now, as you know, I'm just pretty much just getting back from the Camino. I'm putting together all my Camino videos. Already got, I think, through day 6 posted. I'll leave a link to the playlist down here at the end of this video there. Go and check those out if you want to see how things went for me out there. And believe me, it was a blessing every single day. I could not believe it was more than I expected that I got out of my Camino experience. And I look forward to maybe doing another Camino coming up sometime in the future. Trail Boss ain't gonna let me leave for 6 weeks for a while to go, a while, but maybe I can convince her later. But In any case, go and check those out. That's all I got this week, folks. As always, appreciate you, and we hope to see you out here.